Good morning. It's February 1st, and this is To My Liberal Friends. I've been off for about a week because I've been fighting a bad case of the flu, but hopefully I'm getting better now and I'm back. But you have to love the media's fascination with polls. They keep pouring them out and spinning them the way they want you to read them. On Wednesday, there was a new Quinnipiac University poll that gladdened the hearts of the Biden campaign. According to this poll, Biden holds a 6-point lead over Trump at 50 to 44%. This is a national poll, and in effect it means nothing, but that won't stop the liberals and the media from telling everyone that Biden's in good shape and he's going to win. Now, they will ignore that in the same poll, if there's a three-way race, that 6-point lead shrinks when Robert F. Kennedy as an independent candidate is included. And that's not to say that there won't be other candidates in. Then there's a sobering news that Nikki Haley would top Biden by 5 points in a hypothetical November race. Biden sneaks ahead of Haley if there are other candidates in the race. Then there's the shocking news that Biden is favored by 96% of Democratic voters and Trump gets 91% of Republican voters. How shocking is that? But that's only one poll. And a Real Clear Politics compilation of multiple polls puts Trump up with a 2.5% lead. All of these are national polls, and as I said, they're meaningless unless you're one of those who's demanding that we abandon the Electoral College and go with the popular vote nationwide, which, by the way, is never going to happen. If we want to get serious and acknowledge the facts, we will know that the race comes down to about 7 or 8 states, and that's where any polling that's of any consequence matters. So let's take a look at the latest Bloomberg polls in those states. This poll was conducted last week and was with about 5,000 voters, which reduced the margin of error to 1%. The Quinnipiac poll was only 1,650 voters, and that gets a margin of error close to 3%. In Georgia, a state that was at the center of so much of the controversy in 2020, and where Trump is currently under legal clouds with the investigation, the results are interesting. According to the Bloomberg poll, Trump leads in that state with 48% of the vote to 42% for Biden. And again, this was a head-to-head matchup in the key swing states, no third parties. Moving on to Nevada, here Trump leads 48 to 40%. And that's significant because Biden won in Nevada, and there's a strong union vote in Nevada, and this might also spell a problem for the Democratic incumbent in the Senate seat, Jackie Rosen. Pennsylvania is a key state. Trump won in the Keystone State in 2016, but lost to Biden in 2020. But this latest poll has Trump at 48% and Biden at 45%. And this is a critical state for both campaigns. There'll be a contested Senate race there as well, and the winner could pull the Senate seat with them. Biden will be relying on a heavily black vote in Philadelphia, and if that does not materialize, it would be a disaster for the Biden campaign. If we look at Arizona, we find that Trump is ahead 47% to Biden's 44%. And again, this is another interesting race because the Senate race will occur in Arizona. The incumbent, Kyrsten Sinema, has not indicated whether or not she will run for re-election. Democratic Congressman Ruben Gallego has already announced that he will run as a Democrat. Kari Lake, who lost the governor's race last year, is now running for the U.S. Senate as a Republican. If all three are in the race, it will be interesting to see how the turnout is and how it falls out for both Trump and Biden. But right now, Trump has a small lead in this swing state. Michigan is another key battleground state. This has been long viewed as a Democratic stronghold, but Trump was able to win the state in 2016, while Biden came back and won it in 2020. And according to this Bloomberg poll, Trump has a 47% to 42% lead over Joe Biden. This is a must-win state for Joe Biden. Next up is the state of Wisconsin, another state that's gone back and forth in the last 2 presidential elections. Trump won in 2016 and Biden came back and took the state in 2020. This latest poll shows Trump at 50% and Joe Biden at 44%. Finally, we have to take a look at the state of North Carolina. The Tar Heel state has been a fairly reliable Republican state for past years, but the changing demographics in the state put it now in play. Democrats have long felt they could turn the state blue and have won the governor's seat. But the Bloomberg poll has Trump at 49% and Joe Biden at 39%. Not a good number for the Biden campaign or the Democratic Party. Now, all of these polls are interesting to look at this point in time, but we're still 8 months away from any election, and that's a lifetime in politics. So many different things could happen that might swing voters back and forth. It's become apparent that one issue that becomes more and more important to the voters is the southern border and the massive increase in illegal immigration. Experts estimate that over 10 million people have entered the country since Biden took office. Joe Biden himself is finally waking up and admitting they have a crisis on the border. But of course, he blames Republicans in Congress for not giving him the tools to secure the border. Now, that's just plain fantasy on his part. The legislative branch passes laws and the executive branch enacts them. There are currently sufficient laws on the book for the executive branch, meaning Joe Biden, to totally and forcefully secure the border. And in that poll, 13% now list immigration as their most important issue, and that's an increase from 10% a month ago. This issue is starting to resonate with the public. And of course, the second big issue remains inflation. The Biden campaign will tell you that inflation is coming down, which is true, but what they seem to ignore are the two places that people see inflation the most. I'm talking about in a grocery store and at gas stations. Inflation is up 17% since Biden took office, and grocery prices have soared to match that rate. Wages have not kept up, and so real buying power has dropped. And when I talk about grocery stores, you're talking about the basic things people need to feed their families. In summary, all polling is a snapshot of things at that moment in time, and it can certainly change. But the numbers in the key swing states are not good news for Joe Biden. This has been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening.